Hey, what's up, guys? Mystic Shot Podcast, episode 18. We got a special guest today, Mr. Shane from the Twin Sunz Podcast. Welcome, bro.
I like how there was that little pause because you had to quickly go back and look at what he put, what he posted on the Discord being his name. Like, you wanted to say Twin Sunz, but he like quickly, yes, Shane.
No, I actually didn't. I just like to create a little bit. No, I like to create a little bit of like
tension.
What do you call it? Like a little pause in between, like, because sometimes when I talk, I just run off. So I don't know. I'm in speech class right now, so my professor's been telling me that I need to work on that. Like, I just run off sentences. Sometimes I just do that. So I've been trying to like pause in between me saying things.
No, man, when I first started like podcasting, literally I would just like vomit every word out as soon as possible. It would be like 20 minutes in, I'm like, well, I said everything I wrote down.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need to, you just need to explain yourself about certain things, and it'll make exactly. It'll make for a better viewing. But
yes.
Welcome, Shane.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I've been checking out all your episodes. What episode is this now? Is this 15?
No, 18 actually.
18.
We are.
Oh my gosh,
I know we are so.
I don't even know where we are anymore.
We are.
Guys are getting there.
I know. It's going so fast, honestly. Like, I remember when we first started the podcast, I was just like,
we lads.
I remember when we first started the podcast, I was like, all right, I just wanted to talk with some people about Legends of Runeterra and just get our opinions out, and now we're up to episode 18 of it. So
for some reason you decided to contact this weird curly haired British man and go, I want to know what he wants to say about this. But that's not important. What is important is Shane, our guest. Please explain to us your card game background. Like, what made you get into it?
Yeah, I was forced into them, actually, by my older brother.
Okay, this is the first time we're hearing this. I'm interested now.
Yeah, this was not a decision. This was literally forced upon me. So, way back, this company called Decipher made this Star Wars card game, Star Wars TCG. It was nuts. It was the most over-convoluted game of all time. And there was like you had to have like an 8-foot table to play this thing. There's all these different locations. It was chaos. But yeah, my brother was addicted to it. He's 9 years older than me, so he's he had a big brain when I was just real tiny. But he was like literally taught me what every card did before I could read. So I had to memorize by picture what the cards did.
Wow.
So I was playing card game before I could read. It was insane. Yeah, I remember I was at like a
that
store
sounds
playing.
nutty.
Yeah, dude. Crazy.
It sounds to me like you actually were playing a card game Yu-Gi-Oh style, and by that I mean that literally every card as you were playing them was being you had to describe. Because nobody actually plays a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's literally I use Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw to they say exactly what it means. So as you were drawing and playing a card, your brother goes, you play Hoodoo, which means that you get to do this.
Literally, this is like
You were like, I'm not reading this card. It does. I know it does this. Don't.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Now I have to read cards. I'm at a disadvantage now. I have to actually read. But before I could just look at the picture.
Reading? Who does that?
No, it was crazy, man. I remember being at like tournaments like way back. I played Marvel Versus too. I don't know if you guys heard about that game at all. Riot actually worked on that for a while too. The Versus system, that was pretty fun. But I remember going to like these small little tournaments at our local game shop, and like, again, I would like beat a person, and then they would be like, "No, don't shake hands," and get all pissed because I was like 10, and I'm like, "Cool, guys."
Yo.
With the Marvel one, is that the one that Ben Brode Hearthstone went off to go do a little bit as well? I swear that Ben Brode went off to do it. I thought he did a Marvel game. And to be fair, when Ben Brode left Hearthstone, it ruined everything. He was the most charismatic man that you needed. He kept that game going. Like, it was like, buy all these things and whatnot, but then it was like he had a smiley face and kept saying, well met, and you're like, I can get behind that, man. He left. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know if it was that one or not. I'm not sure because that one it like came back once. So there was like two incarnations of verse systems. Like there's an older one. That's the one I played. It came back. I'm not sure if he left for the new one or not. But yeah. So yeah, pretty much card games forever.
Sounds like you've been
constantly.
You said you started when you were 10, bro.
Oh, I started when I was like literally 4. I think.
What?
Like 3 or
Oh
4.
my goodness.
Yeah, my brother was like a super nerd, so he was like, "You will play card games with me. Like, I will train you to be a master."
I like it. It's because I understand where he's coming from, because sometimes there's like certain games that you'd play that literally no one else is playing, so forcing your little brother to play them means at least you've got somebody to play with. So I can understand
it's like, nah. It's like ain't no decisions, ain't no choices here. You're playing with me.
Yo, literally. That's actually exactly what it was. As soon as I was born, he was like, "You will love Star Wars and you will love card games. Welcome to the family." Like, all right, let's get it.
All right, guess this is what I'm doing.
I am your parent now. Forget mother and father. I will now look after you and force you into this man.
That's pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
So, since then, you pretty much been into card games. So, what got you into the online stuff? Because it sounds like you've been playing for like a pretty long time. Well, definitely longer than me, because I haven't been playing for that long. Definitely not. One of my first card games was Vanguard Card Fight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But so what got you to online?
Yeah, well, I was a huge, I'm more than just a card gamer. I was a nerd for all nerd things. So I was a huge, like, Warcraft 3 fan back in the day. So when they made Hearthstone, I was like, oh, hype. Like, Warcraft's one of my favorite, worlds. So let's get it. And that's kind of where my brother and I separated, because I was like, yo, online card games, I don't have to leave the house. I can just sit on my iPad. Like, this is sick. And my brother's that like weird tactical genius. He's like, no, I want to see the fear in my opponent's eyes. So when I'm playing
I respect that.
Yo, he said, "I want when I play that Swain when they don't have a board. Yeah, I want to see the fear."
I want to be there on hand. I want to be there on hand with a tissue to mop up the tears of my opponent. And I shall wring it my meal, and I shall eat the tears of my enemy.
That's pretty much dead accurate, man. I'm serious. So I fell in love.
Oh, man.
That's what he did, man. He just did straight up, like, he played a little bit of Hearthstone, he plays a little bit of Runeterra, but it's never the same for him. He wants that in-person feel, but I'm all about the online. So I played a buttload of Hearthstone. It was all about Hearth for a while, and that's really the only other online. I played a little bit of Pokemon online because that system's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not much. More Hearthstone than that. I played Hearthstone for like 8 years, and then it was pretty fun. I never got competitive. I was always just kind of like, this is moderately entertaining.
Same, because I played it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I did always try new games when they came out. So I tried Gwent when it first came out. I was like, I'm not happy with Gwent because I like it more in the game when I'm playing The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 version of Gwent is far superior to the version of Gwent that's the online one. And I even tried, I don't know if you remember, the Elder Scrolls made a card game at one point.
Oh, they did, yeah. I didn't play it at all. I did.
Yeah, I heard of that one. I heard of it.
It was shit. I played the beta. I played about like, no, man, I'm done. This is shit.
Throw it in the garbage.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever play some Shadowverse? Shane?
I didn't actually. That's one I completely missed. I never played that. I actually didn't hear about it even until I started playing Runeterra, and then I heard people talking about it. So I never heard of that at all. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I actually played a little bit of Shadowverse. I didn't get competitive with it or anything, but I played it since the first set when it came out. I mean, I came from Yu-Gi-Oh! So cards with a lot of text, I'm used to that. So that's what brought me to playing Shadowverse. It was and I like cards with good art, which that's what Shadowverse had. Shadowverse had really good art. But
so if we were to go all the way back to when you first started playing Runeterra.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, because I do think this is actually quite an interesting question sometimes, when you first started playing it, what was the first region that drew your eye and was like, you know what? It's like, I mean, to begin with, like the first one, like obviously when you first play the game, you don't 100% know all the different things, all different that, and then so you kind of get a base concept of each region, and so which one were you like? I'm building my decks in this region to begin with. Because obviously you don't have the card pool that you eventually end up happening in the end, like. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was playing during the first time I played was during one of those beta windows where you didn't get to keep your collection, but you just got like the X amount of cards or whatever way back. And I had played too much League, but I hate League.
You played? Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Actually, that was gonna be my next question. How did you find out about Runeterra? But continue.
Yeah. So I've played League, and you know I'm terrible, and I always complain about it. I hate the toxicity of everything, but it is a fun game. But I am like madly in love with all of the Shadow Isles characters. So the first deck I made was just like Thresh Hecarim, and I was like, I just want to run everybody over with Ephemerals. So, like, just everybody must die. Just go. Yeah. So those were that spoke to my heart, and still, like, you know, as I'm even looking at my lineup for seasonals, I'm like, how many decks should I run with Shadow Isles? All of them. Shadow Isles, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Isles is an amazing region. So much removal tools, so many like troll tools within Shadow Isles. It's ridiculous.
They're pretty OP.
Plus the Undying's in there. Let's face it, Undying's one of the best cards. Apart from Catastrophe, it's one of the best cards in the game. So.
Yeah, 100%. Undying is life.
Oh man, when Hecarim was good.
He still can be good.
They slapped him up first patch, bro. They slapped him up first patch. They were like, "Yo, we can't have that happening. We can't have that in our card game."
There was that one patch where they just looked. They were like, "All right, what can we nerf from Shadow Isles?" And they took like 8 cards and just smacked like all of Shadow Isles.
They really did. They really did.
Like, what's going on? But that from that day on. Until this most recent patch, I had cried about Black Spear going to 3 mana.
Oh yeah,
I would
same
tweet it Riot Umbrage.
Same.
Ruben's do on Twitter. It'd be like, Black Spear is garbage at 3 mana. Like, come on. And now it does 4 damage. So I'm happy.
Yep. Yeah. Same. I'm happy now.
Does something now.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like your favorite region is what's the name? Shadow Isles. I can agree with that 100%. That's
content right there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite regions as well. So in League, what is your favorite champion?
Gee, so it was Nadali for a while, just launching spears like crazy,
Nidalee.
You know, just Nidalee, yeah. I'm terrible with pronouncing whatever their names are.
You good?
Don't worry, I can't read.
You're good.
Nidalee was one of my favorites, but they like nerfed her spear a while ago. Like I would just play like support and just like try to get more kills than the DPS with spears. That was terrible support. But yeah, that was the move. But that or Hecarim or Thresh, any of the Shadow Isles characters. And then as of late, you know, I've been drug in playing a little bit more lately with my co-hosts and things, just a tiny bit. But I've been digging Victor a lot, just shooting laser cannons across the floor and stuff. He's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Victor's tight.
I can agree with that. Nidalee is definitely a fun champ to play.
I've never been able to take on a support role because I like dupes too much. Sorry for a second for those who don't know. Like, so it's like, so even in Overwatch, like Reaper was always my main, and I had with it like whenever like I play because I played Heroes of the Storm for a long time because it's like a game which I played more of that than I played League. That's because I came more from a Blizzard background from us because obviously Hearthstone. I played that, but I started playing League and kind of gravitated towards Brand, I think his name is, and Draven. Brand and Draven were like the first two.
You played Draven.
He throws his axes the whole way across the map. It's just like, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? And
his voice lines are amazing. His voice lines are amazing in that game. Like, especially with certain skins, like, there's a Santa Claus skin, he just says all Christmas stuff the whole game. It's so funny.
Those axes defy all sorts of gravity. It's like, what is happening?
That's good.
What am I watching right now?
Yeah, so I was never able to take on a support role. I am Van Dups. So
Yeah, right.
I can't leave the damage per second.
Nah,
Yeah.
I could. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But yeah, I think that was all of my questions. I mean, you answered like 3 of my questions with what you said before. Because I was gonna ask you about what got you into knowing about Legends of Runeterra, but you told me you came from League, which most people found out about Runeterra through League. I found out about Runeterra through League.
Yeah, literally, it was the what was like Riot 10 or whatever. Their big we have 1,000 other games. At the same time, that announcement.
Yeah. Exactly.
I saw that one, and my friend Mikey, who's one of our co-hosts, he was like, "Oh, look at the fighting game," and I was like, "We're not talking about anything except Legends of Runeterra." So I want to stop talking about Legends of Runeterra.
Yep.
So then, I was like, "Yeah, full blown dive into this game."
Yep.
So that's got to be like a question, because obviously Shane from the Twin Sunz Podcast. Twin Sunz Podcast, probably I'd say undoubtedly the biggest and most well known Legends of Runeterra podcast around. Like, I don't think
so much. Appreciate it.
I mean, it really is. It's an amazing podcast as well.
Yes, it is.
My main question has got to be what? How did that start? Like, what was it that you guys got together and decided? You know, I love this game, so let's immediately start a podcast. Let's this game. While the iron is hot, let's get in there, boys. Let's start talking about. Let's talk about cards. Let's go. How did it start? That's legitimate. I don't know yet.
I'll give you guys the scoop, because I've never even said this on our own podcast, so I'll give you guys the inside scoop.
Oh yeah, let's go.
We're going deep. All right, so Mikey and I.
How deep are we going? Are we going Nautilus deep? Like, how deep are we going?
We have 15 or less cards, for sure.
I gotta get my notepad, fam. Let's do this.
He gets his notepad. So we really, me and Mikey at the very beginning, like right as soon as Riot 10 got announced and all these cards came out, Mike and I, we were just wanting to make content of some sort. So as far as a background for content creation, I'm the only one who has a little bit. I was a co-host on a Destiny card game a Star Wars card game called Star Wars Destiny. Mm-hmm. I was a co-host on a podcast for that with my friend Jack. We're called the Golden Dice Podcast. That game has died off since COVID and everything, and even before that.
Yikes.
Like physical card games do that aren't named Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic, they die. So that one's dead. But I was a co-host on there, so I did a little bit of content creation, just a tiny bit. So I was like, I really want to take it myself, do my own podcast. I want to be a card game because I'm addicted to card games, and Runeterra just seemed like it was super good. I started the beta phase, and I was like, this looks sick. Like, I really want to fully dive into this. But Mikey was like, let's just do like a generic like video game podcast, a little bit of everything, And I was like, I think we need to find our niche first. I think we need to have like one focus, and that's something me and him talked about a lot. Like, should we start like a podcast that's open to everything, or should we just do like full-blown Runeterra? You know what I mean? And I won that argument, and we went for the full-grown Runeterra podcast, and that's why we named it something that has nothing to do with Runeterra. the Twin Sunz Podcast.
I was gonna say, where did Twin Sunz come from? Because I never really the connection.
Yep, I was gonna ask you that too. I was gonna ask you that too, actually.
Yeah, it's super awkward now that we have some followers and and of course I spelled it with a Z because I'm an idiot.
I was gonna.
Late speak.
Oh my God, you are literally in my head right now, because I was just about to be like, so what made you spell it with a Z though?
Yeah, all right. So that goes back to me just being super annoying. Yeah. So
I was definitely about to ask you that, because I was
my username.
I was just spelling it just now, and I was like, why does it have a Z though? Nah, but it's cool though.
So my username for like Xbox has been Twin Sunz with a Z 77 for like eons, So it's just something that I've just had, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep the Z. I already had these logos made. Let's just roll it with it, and then just go from there.
I mean, to be fair, at the end of the day, as long as you get known for something, like the name doesn't matter. What is it? what is it that Shakespeare used to say? Who's bound by any other name would smell as sweet. I think that was Shakespeare. Jakey, back me up in the chat. I'm gonna say that was Shakespeare and say, yeah, I know my English bollocks. That's the point. Like, a name, it doesn't matter as long as you're building that lovely content and things like it can. That's what it means. That's what you've basically become. I'd say undoubtedly probably the best and biggest Legends of Runeterra podcast around. Like,
I appreciate that. That means a ton.
Nah, it is.
Yeah, like I said, we started. We named it Twin Sunz because I said we had logos made up already by my friends, so we're like, we could just name it this, and then it kind of kept that door open. Where like, if we want to stop making Runeterra content, we can just turn it into anything, and it's
true.
Realistically, the Twin Sunz is a Tatooine reference from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Star Wars.
Two sunsets, yeah.
Oh,
it comes back to Star Wars always, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Because I thought that's what the reference was, but then I was just like, but wait a minute, he's playing so much Runeterra. I was just like, I mean, obviously, like I said, I'd come from Hearthstone and Blizzard, and this was actually my first real experience in Runeterra. I was like, maybe Runeterra's got two suns, and I just don't know about because I don't know about the I mean,
no, nothing. No, nothing like that. Yeah, it's a terrible name. It's awful.
No. It's a good name. Also, I was gonna say in the logo, that Z actually looks really nice. I'm not gonna lie. That Z at the end with the script, it looks really. I'm not gonna. I wish I had a Z. Because it looks really nice
with a Z. There you go.
Because it looks really nice at the end of the actual logo. It looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn. I see why you have a Z now, though.
As somebody who's called Gomez and always had a Z at the end of his name, it's no big deal. I don't think about it.
I do. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's the inside scoop. And then we had Mikey, and it was just me and Mikey for like 2 episodes, and then Mikey's like the ultimate casual player, like, pretty much just plays when he's pooping. Like that's stuff. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And then we got my friend Josh on because he's another local friend. So I knew all these guys. I went to middle school, and I've known Josh in 2nd grade. So they're both League fanatics. So they jumped on. Josh joined us, and then now we've been going for 42 episodes, I think, or something like that. So we're getting there.
Yeah, you guys are getting there, 100%. I know you guys. I knew you guys were close to 50. Yeah, I know you guys were close to 50 for sure.
Yeah, we've missed a couple weeks, but we've stayed pretty on top of it. So, but holidays happen. You miss a week or something, so it happens.
Yeah, no, it happens. Stuff comes up.
Life in general. Yeah. But to be fair, you've done an amazing job. Like all of you, like
appreciate it. Yeah.
Every single one of you, without a shadow of a doubt. Yes. So shall we get on to the pick a card? Unless there's any other questions that you have, we the people.
I was gonna ask. So how many people do you have on the podcast? It's just 3.
Just 3.
Oh, okay.
Mikey right now is taking a little step back. He's doing a lot more just behind the scenes stuff. He's like our finance guy too. He's got like a whole Excel sheet of like everything that we do for giving away money and all that stuff.
Oh.
So he's a little, and he's like, he ships out all the stickers. He's like a little elf over there. He's got everything going on.
The purse strings, but secretly funneling off that money into an offshore account that's secretly going to be his when he goes off to the Caymans.
That's it, yeah.
Leaves him millions at the end. Like, he just leaves him his millions and goes, bye guys. Yeah.
Never talk to him again.
Nah, I'm not even gonna lie, because I know you guys referenced Mikey, and I was like, who is that? Like, I was watching the podcast a few times, and I'm like, wait, who is Mikey? I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, he's been stepping back. He came on for Janky's episode. He joined with when we had Janky Lore on.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like Janky's like big. I think he has a Janky tattoo on his chest or something. He's a huge Janky fan.
It would be a great tattoo, to be fair.
It would be a solid tattoo.
Yeah, it would be a solid tattoo. He's amazing.
Came for that episode, but he's been missing a few. He hasn't been playing a whole lot lately. He's been doing a lot of other stuff. So it's been mostly Josh and I, and then occasional guests as we go. So.
Okay.
I like to think that it's like a big tattoo of just janking with a really smiley face with his big beard, and then just in the back, like, you know, just like Burns night. Just like, as they celebrate it, and we just celebrate the Scottish holiday.
Oh my goodness.
What is Burns night? What is this?
You guys have to look up.
It's like, wait, that's not in the script. Hold on.
Is it a reference? Oh my god.
Oh man. But yeah. No, you guys have an amazing podcast, honestly. I've been trying to ask you for a while to come on the podcast. Not for a long time, but I was trying to figure out a time to get you to come on the podcast.
And what better time than a pump of Creasy Moose?
Yeah, for sure. Literally,
I was gonna have to start drinking coffee. You guys were like 7 a.m. on Saturday. I was like,
yo, our first guest. So our first guest was Saucy Mailman. He was just like, yo, 7 o'clock. He was like, yo, I'm not turning on my cam, bro. He's like, yo, I'm not even out my bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, I guess that's the beard, the gloriousness of his beard. Like, he must take like so much pruning beforehand.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I don't have the time to do my morning routine. You know, I've got to get my beard oils in there, and
No, more respect to you guys, but I was like 7. Like, these guys are committed, dude. 7 a.m.
Nah, I don't blame him though, cause yo, half the time when I wake up at 7, bro, I'm like, all right, guys. Welcome to the Mystic Shop Podcast. Like, I'm barely here, bro.
Welcome to the podcast.
I'm barely here, bro. Cause especially on the days where I'm streaming on Friday and I stream late. Yo, I'm like barely here. but usually the schedule's like that because I mean, you should know by now. Gomez lives across the seas.
Yeah.
so we have to.
It's 12 noon for me when podcast starts. So, you know, I'm fine. I've woken up. I've had breakfast.
Yeah. You look great. Yeah.
Yo, it would be 6-7 o'clock here. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I can do it, guys. I don't know. Gomez is like, yo, guys, yo, yeah, yo, you know that? He's like completely ready. I'm like, oh my. I'm like trying to scrub the creases out of my eyes. I'm trying to stay up over here.
Yo, he's had his lunch. I've had fruit snacks, man.
Nah, but it's all good. I don't mind it though. I don't mind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had one guest who was we had Rainmaker on. He's a writer for Runeterra. He's the editor for RuneterraCCG.com. He does all he works with all the other writers. But yeah, he's from Russia, and we were like, "What time's good for you?" He's like, "You can tell me anytime. I'll be up." So we picked some time. He's like, "That's perfect. It's 4 a.m. my time." And I was like, "We can pick a different time." He's like, "No, that's perfect." What do you mean?
To be fair, the Russians. He's Russian. He's a hard man. You know, it's basically I'm trying to think of in Russia, sleep is you, but I don't know what I don't know what I was trying to go with up there, but
that man was
they don't need sleep. That's the thing. They can just keep going.
Yeah. I haven't slept in days.
Exactly. I sleep when dead. Happy when. But yeah, no. To be fair, commitment. The commitment that a lot of people put in, especially in this community, is amazing.
For sure.
Literally.
For sure.
And it's amazing the fact that obviously the game hit number 1 in on mobile and was it mobile and iPad games? I can't remember what it was, but the game got up into number 1, which is great.
Yeah, I know in the
iPad reward or something.
Yeah, I know in the App Store as well. I think they won first. I think for I think it's for only the gaming section though. I think they won first.
That makes sense.
Oh, you know what I mean. That makes sense. I mean, it's not exactly going to be like the number 1 in the beauty section.
Legends of Runeterra. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's been blowing up. It's been good.
Nah,
and
it's been blowing up.
Dropped the ball at the perfect time.
It was like perfect. Like it was like wait, they dropped the ball. All right, wait, yo, you heard of this Legends of Runeterra game, bro?
What people don't understand is that Hearthstone or Hearthstone dropped the ball ages ago, because I always said the second that Leroy Jenkins got cycled into the Hall of Fame, it was no longer. Because Leroy Jenkins was Hearthstone.
It was like, game's over.
It's the final moment.
Click this to the trash. Send that off the phone. That's it. It's off.
Send it back to the kitchen. It's garbage. But yeah, I always do that. But anyway.
But yeah. So we should get on some. Yeah, we should get into our pick a card for the week. So who would like to go first? I mean, I could go first. I've been playing a crap ton of ladder, so I know my most hated card.
Go on then. Let's just kick it off, mate.
Alright. So, alright, I'll say this right now. My most hated deck has to be the Miss Wraith deck, 100%. So, I hate that deck.
It's really not that bad.
No, it is that bad. You clear their board, and then they play that 9-mana card.
Yeah.
It's rough. It is rough.
Oh man. But
that's when if you were playing PNZ right, then you would just rummage into like 2 Jerrys. I mean, actually, no, correction, Jerry wouldn't be able to save you there. Curse you, Jerry, for not being able to save me every single time he needs to. One
of my
just a mystic. A mystic can deal with like, that's the one thing that I find, while obviously because I've made a Marauder deck. The reason why I like the Marauder deck more than the Miss Wraith deck is because the Marauder deck, his health goes up as well as that. So the Miss Wraiths only have 2 health, and so if you've got enough removal to deal with 2 health, like, you know, you're laughing. You're laughing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, the fearsomes are pretty annoying. So I'm with you. They're pretty brutal. But, you know, when they hit, it's just like, all right, cool guys.
When they do their thing.
What card is the hated? Is it the 9-cost harrowing?
Yes,
what is
definitely harrowing. 100% harrowing. Oh my god. Honestly, I feel like there's so many ways to stop it, but it's like when you don't have that way and you're just sitting there, you're like, okay, yes, I killed this, I killed that. All right, we're good. And then they bank that 2 mana. We get to turn 7. And then they play harrowing.
That's it.
Are you serious? Are you telling me you don't have Singular Wheel in your hand at that time?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this.
Who doesn't love Singular Wheel?
I'm sorry. I'm not that good, bro. I'm just not that good. I'm sorry. I'm just not that good.
That's what happens when you don't play the Yasuo deck with Singular Wheel. You know?
You're missing out.
Yo. I'm sorry. I'm just trash at this game. I'm not that good, bro. I can't be that good. I can't literally have passions unearned every time. Like, I'm sorry. I can't top deck it every time. I can't do it. That's
what separates you from being the best player, because as Janky will let you know, like, you know, obviously the best players top deck what they need at the right time.
Yeah,
always.
A good player would have it.
Always.
The good player would have it. So.
Always. You play the 3/3 that puts the Yeti on the top 3 deck. You top deck the Yeti every time, bro.
Oh yeah.
Every time, bro. But harrowing has been a pain in my butt. Honestly.
Yeah, favorite card then, mate. What's your favorite card?
Well,
this week.
Okay. First, I don't know if I don't think he's in the chat, but I'm pretty sure you guys know Tricky. So yeah. So he's been helping me with Ezreal Draven actually, and I'm actually gonna make a video probably sometime next week, because right now it's finals. It's kind of hard for me to make content. It's been really hard for me to make content, but probably next week I'll make a deck profile about Ezreal Draven. But I've been literally just spamming Ezreal Draven. Deck is amazing. I think out of that deck, no, I like Tribeam. I really like Tribeam. Tribeam. I really like Tribeam.
Good card. When used right, Tribeam.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
I have gotten Funsmith from Tribeam, and my opponent instantly left.
I wouldn't at that point.
Oh man, that is worth.
I mean, Tri-Beam is it's one of those things because it doesn't have to hit to still create the minion. So even if they like kill off their own minion, like stop the target, the spell doesn't fizzle, so they still get whatever's like cost unit out of it. And sometimes those units can be nice.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
they're brutal.
I kind of agree. Or I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat, but I kind of agree with Vindicious. He said that I forgot that they buffed Harrowing to 9 mana. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
they did. I don't know.
Yeah, it used to be 10.
Yeah, it did. I don't know if I disagree with that, but I kind of agree. I don't know. I want to agree with it because I hate that card, but like I don't know if it's just me hating on that card. Like, I don't know.
I don't mind it, but to be fair, I'm a man who uses it several times. So I'm not really a fair man to judge this.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just hating. Because, like, there's easy ways to counter it, like deny, unearned passage. I mean, I remember the other day, I was playing Anivia, and I played Harrowing, and then they played the, that 9-drop that bounces 3 cards to your hand. They bounced every Anivia to my hand. I was like, damn, they did me dirty. And my hand was full, so each one burned. They did me dirty.
The perfect way.
So I don't know. It really depends on what kind of deck you're playing it in, I think. Because in the Mishrafe deck, it goes so well because you don't care if your units die. You're just trying to kill your opponent. You don't care. You're like, I'm trying to kill you.
One of the most funniest uses I've seen of that card was it was somebody I played against. They dueled me on stream. They redeemed the duel on the stream, and it was amazing because they used the investigator. You know, the one who like draw a card on both sides, like which each person plays a card, and then they kept they were using Scribe to get more back. They were using Mist Call and
oh my God.
Was it Fading Memories? They were getting so many of those and just letting them all they were playing was these investigators, and then they just used Harrowing, and then literally because every single time one of those comes back, it's a summoned effect, so it just forces you to burn at that point. Both of you are drawing, so it forces you to basically burn so many cards, to draw the deck so quick.
Oh my God!
And it was so funny. I could not stop laughing. I mean, obviously, I destroyed the deck, but it was so funny to play against because it was just so unexpected. Just like forcing you to continuously draw. I like it when people take ideas and go, you know what? Let's do something really insane and stupid. Those are the kind of things I love. So,
we don't need fearsome. We need veteran investigators.
We need them all.
We need more.
Oh my! Yo, we need some more support for what's the name for Catastrophe? We need more support.
I know that's one deck I've been working on that I might actually put a video up. But it was I decided to make a deck where I was going full in on just trying to. So it was using Siphon Soul, which could Fading Memories, all these things on top of the Barkeeper guy, who every single time you play a Barkeeper, he makes he gives you cards in that region. It's just such a funny card. There is a copy of Perfection in that deck as well, just because the potential, just the randomness that he gives you. Don't get me wrong, it's not a viable deck at all because you don't know what you're gonna get, but the hilariousness of that deck is I can't be understated. It's such a fun little deck to play. I would try and maximize what I could get him up to, and I legitimately got him up to 7. So when you played him, just putting 7 random cards in your hand, 7 of these cards. Yeah, it's a lot. It was amazing.
Oh my! I feel like playing decks like that. You just create a statement. You're like, yo, I'm not here for competitive. I'm not here to win. I'm just here to waste your time.
I'm gonna do this fun thing today?
Something you've
man.
never done before.
Exactly. You can't even comprehend what's going on. I sure as I can't comprehend what's going on. So if I can't, how can you?
But alright, so those are my two cards, Harrowing and Tri-Beam. So Gomez, you want to go next?
Okay, I mean, yeah, I was gonna give it to Shane, but okay. Fine,
No, we can leave the best for last.
Oh, that's it.
Fair enough then. We'll leave the best. We'll leave the best for last. So, personally, my favourite card of the week has been Teemo, because I've been putting Teemo in as many decks as possible, and the reason why he's been my favourite is because I've been coming across so many people playing the Go Hard deck. And that deck massively goes on them drawing cards, and so if you can get points,
I hear where this is going. I like where this is going.
It's amazingly funny. So the deck that I've actually been running at this moment in time is a Teemo, Garen. Teemo Garen deck, working off of Rally, so that I get to hit forward with Teemo. Yeah, to hit forward with Teemo. So I'm just doubling the amount of.
That sounds dirty as hell.
There you go. Unbelievably funny state, and also. So that deck is running single combat, it's running all these different things to help level Garen as quickly as possible. So the second it goes into their turn, they do something, I immediately attack forward with Teemo. It's just like, okay, well, I mean, go for it. I mean, you've got like 200 odd mushrooms in your deck, but go on, use that draw mechanic. You know you want to. You want to get those Go Hard, right? Go on, take them.
Oh my, nah. I have seen a Teemo Sejuani list that kind of does the same thing, but I feel like they get online a little faster, and oh my god, you're like, I don't even want to play this deck, like. You're like, I was joking, like, it's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. It's just, I didn't want to play this deck.
But it's been so much fun playing that deck. I love Teemo. I've always wanted to experiment and do funny things with Teemo, just because the idea of it is along the lines of like Fiora or Starspring, where it's an alternate win condition, but just like forcing your opponent to kill themselves through draw. So literally, that's why I've always liked having Teemo. So Teemo's been my favorite of the week, just because at this moment in time, it just seems like the Go Hard deck is all I've been facing more than anything else, and that deck requires significant draw, and so you just let them kill themselves.
Literally, like you got 50 shrooms in your deck, you'll kill yourself eventually. Also, I wanted to ask you guys a question. If you steal the if you nab the pack your bags from the opponent's deck, do you get pack your bags?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
As somebody who's done that, yes, you do. Yeah. I did it on stream. I did it on the side. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And then you immediately play it to just do 5 damage, just destroy your opponents. But like nabbing, so that's why if you're playing a nab deck, if you're playing against that deck, you actually have to play very strategically, because you want to be leaving your nab kill.
Oh, really?
Give you the maximum chance to do it, and then just go 5 damage. Enjoy yourself, mate.
Oh,
you were doing this to me. Have it back.
Okay.
Because that deck.
That's good to know.
Because the nab deck that I run actually also runs what's his face? Dreadway. Dreadway then makes it do like 10 damage. So, don't get me wrong. It's just like it doesn't always happen. You don't always hit it. When you do, it's like perfect. But yeah, that's good, which is a good thing. But so my least favourite card this week, in terms of what I've been coming up against the most, which has probably been causing me the most problems, it probably have to be I'd have to say Tom Kench, but that's just because like a lot of the things that I've been running, it's because with that deck, if you don't have solid removal, and sometimes if you do have solid removal, you need to be making sure that you're playing it past Bastion, but a good player on your opponent's side is trying to keep that 4 man just to keep you guessing like whether they've got it or not. But yeah, no, it's just the fact that once he gets on the board, especially in that deck, there's not many ways to kill. Like, you can't kill him with damage because most of the time they've got heals that will get past it if they're playing that right. Especially Astral Protection, a heal for 4 plus an additional 4 health on the top of it. So he's one of those things where literally he does once he's on the board, and if they can sustain him in their ways that they've got, I can't get rid of him sometimes. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do have the removal to get rid of him, but he's been the annoyance at this moment in time for me personally. But just this week, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, Kent is rough.
But I'm not saying that
around.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that it's a bad card. Actually, I like what they've done with Tom Kench. I feel like he's somebody who is necessary because he is an interesting card because it requires interesting play round. So I do like him as a card, but it's been annoying this week.
Yeah, no doubt. He's rough. Mine's a champion for hate. I've been hating on Fiora all week. I just can't. I don't know why.
Really?
I feel like I'm back in when I first started playing the game. Every time I see a Fiora, I'm like, I hate you. I just don't know what to do. I don't know. She's just been getting to me, man.
She's a really good champion. Yet again, they've got so many things in that deck that can protect her that it does become problematic to deal. If it's not straight up vengeance and obviously yet again making sure they've not got deny.
Yeah,
or even the worst thing. This is a terrible story. I've definitely brought it up on podcasts before, but it's this one time when it was literally a few weeks ago. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play a Fiora deck. It's been a while since I played a Fiora deck. Let's play a Fiora deck, and so I played it. And literally all 3 times I played Fiora, she got put directly into a sunburst. And I wasn't playing it with Targon, so I didn't have one. I was like, he did it 2 times. Okay, right, he's got to be out of sunburst now. I mean, who the hell runs 3 sunbursts? Play my last one, sunburst. Okay, then if this is the way this game runs,
delete deck. Yeah,
we're playing that again for a while.
Oh my god!
Instantly deletes deck.
Yeah, that deck is it's really solid right now. So I feel like they refined it really well because they're running Screeching Dragon as well. You got Brightsteel Formations even getting splashed. That deck has just been consistently putting me down. So for the seasonal, I'm I'm just gonna ban Fiora as hard as I can every time I see Fiora. Just get out of here.
Get him out of here.
Yeah,
that deck is really consistent. That deck is really consistent.
Yeah, that's my most hated. Yeah.
What have you liked this week?
I'm gonna go with my girl Tiana Crown card, the 8-drop. Yeah.
I mean, obviously got a little bit of a buff. Whether or not that buff was relevant or not. Exactly. Whether or not that buff was relevant or not, still.
It's something. Yeah. So I've been playing
take
a
what
ton
we can
of
get.
Undying's my jam. So I've been playing a butt ton of Undying decks, and I mean she's thick, dude. 8/8. I mean, she can block Farron with tough and just survive, and she's she's pretty good. Yeah, Atrocity does 1 more now to the Nexus. She's an 8, thick. So she's been doing good. She's been very solid, very solid.
That rally as well, it does put her up there as being one of those 8 cost cards. Because obviously 8 cost is the cost where you get most of the most powerful ones in there. And
right, exactly.
It's something. It still is a formidable foe.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt, definitely can change the game.
Yeah, the 8/8 hasn't mattered too much, but there's been one time where they played Farron and I played that, and they were like, "I can't even attack with Farron, dude." What's going on right now?
Yep.
Yeah, she's just standing there.
Maybe that's why they gave her the buff. It's just so that she could
defend Farron.
Farron still used that Noxus itself is used widely, and that kind of Farron it's a good closer. It's a good closer because it's overwhelm. It's an 8/8 that's throwing 12 damage into your hand. I mean, admittedly, it's a slow speed spell, but by the time if you're playing an aggressive deck, then
see, my mind can be okay with Tiana standing up to Farron. I'm all right, it's too big, armored. But then when Tiana just stands up to the infinite mind splitter, my mind's just how is she fighting this 2-headed dragon, dude? What is going on?
Because she's with it. She's about it.
Yeah. She's pretty thick.
That is Lux's mom, fam. She puts the hand down.
Yeah. She's not bad. Not bad. Yeah, that's my favorite. I'm going with that.
It's good choice, to be fair.
Nah, really it is. It is. I rarely see it played though, but It's a good card. The other day,
really just Undying.
Yeah, the other day, me and Swerve actually saw each other on ladder. And that is actually the card that beat me because I was playing Ezreal Draven, and then I played Farron, and then he played Tia. And I was just sitting there like, all right. You got it. But
she's legit.
Good card.
Yeah, no, it's a good card. And then on top of that, the rally is just like, all right. So if you don't swing, guess what? I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's a good card though. But
So I guess we might as well very quickly. I just want to just get Shane's opinion on the seasonal tournament at this moment in time. Because obviously you're in it. Sadly,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think any of us made it.
nah, nah, I didn't make it.
What we talked about last week on the podcast was that I thought that it was going to be like the what's his face, the gauntlet, whereby you weren't actually going to. So it was. I thought it was going to be closed deck list.
Yes.
But it is actually. It's apparently open deck list.
Yeah, it was a hot topic for sure. That was something that was spicy. Yeah, so I thought it was very unclear in the FAQ because they were like, yeah, you can inspect your opponent's deck, but not like they didn't say deck list. They just said deck. So it looked like, inspect the deck is the same thing as, all right, it's Shadow Isles, Targon, whatever, So yeah, it's open deck list only for 5 minutes during the pre-ban phase, but like everyone's hitting print screen as soon as they see their deck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Facts.
So I mean, it's pretty much full open deck list, which I could go on forever. I don't like open deck list in general. I think it takes away from like deck building skill.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Gomez said the same thing.
I've heard it from both sides. I prefer closed deck list because like closed deck list, but being able to see what champions and what regions. I don't mind that information being given, but literally I kind of want to keep these back because I know that, and obviously of course the pro players are going to say they want open deck list because then they say like obviously then you get to plan around your moves. But I like the idea of closed deck list because it doesn't allow it allows like crazy stuff. Like I don't know whether or not you saw on the subreddit that somebody posted a deck that was literally so Shadow Isles with Freljord with one copy of Anivia in it, so it made you think it was Anivia control, but it was actually a Mistwraith deck. Like which is like the aggressive. So it allows. I think that it allows for a different type of strategy in that it allows for you to have the ability to trick your opponents. They don't know what they're up against, and I find that I like that allure a lot more than I like the open deck list. But obviously, every single like pro player is going to tell you they prefer open deck list, and why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They want to know what they're up against. They want to know every single part of it. But for somebody like me who's not exactly pro, but you can still play the game, okay?
Right.
I prefer. I'm more of a person who prefers trickery. Like as you know, as a man who plays many perfection decks, the second they know perfections in that deck, I can't bring that to tournament because they know what to expect, and so they'll be having their plans to work around that, like immediately type thing. Whereas if they don't know, that's why I think that it allows for more fun play if they don't know. And I know there's a very unpopular opinion in that universe, especially like in the competitive scene. It's a very unpopular opinion, but I do think that closed deck list is interesting because I was gonna say closed deck list was how Hearthstone ran tournaments. I don't know if people are familiar with how Hearthstone ran like at the beginning. I mean, it's open up to a point when it gets to a point, but when you went into tournaments, it would be because once you hit into that 1 versus 1, your screen is locked. You can't then go back and edit decks from the screen competing with somebody. So what they would do is you have to only have the free deck that you're going forward with. That can be the only thing that you've got to print screen with the timestamp to prove that when you're going into that matchup, those are the only ones with your opponent that you've got. And they can see the regions, and they might be able to see the champion or whatnot, like what's there, but they don't know what's in the deck. And I kind of like that personally.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I would have liked that as well, because then it would have made it so that casual people have a chance here, because people that are not like they don't play this game for 20 hours or 40 hours a week, stuff like that. They have a chance, because then you could bring, like you said, like Gomez said, some trickery. You could bring a perfection deck and beat them one game, and now you're up a game, and then now they have to beat you twice, and to your meta decks or whatever. It gives you a chance. It gives you some kind of leeway, and I think that would have been nice to see this first tournament. But it is the first tournament, so maybe they could change their opinion. And
there's a goes into it. It's tough. It's like, so first off, like if I even had a Lux Thresh deck that was really just Undying. So like I was also going full debate. I wanted to try that, but that whole strategy's out the window. It is tough in the sense that if it's a closed deck list, but they're streaming the event on multiple different channels. You can get people who are like, oh, well, I saw this guy earlier playing this deck. And it's actually this. And
true.
So just to a small degree, ideally we have a lot of, we don't have people who are going to be doing that, but like, it could happen. So it's tough, and it's like awkward. I kind of wish what Gomez was saying too is like the exact like closed deck list for Swiss rounds and then open for top 32. I think would have been totally.
Oh yeah, that would have been amazing. That would have been good too.
Yeah,
that would have been good too.
That's kind of what I wish. And the biggest thing is I just wish it was clearer from the beginning, because now I had a guy on Twitter was like, I had 3 decks that were all about that strategy of just debating
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is people thought it was going to be like the Gauntlet, which is what I thought, like in terms of where you didn't get to see it. But that's what I think, but the thing of it is, the competitive scene is always going to tell you they want open deck list, and
for sure.
So when they're listening to, because obviously it's going to be those people going into the tournaments more, when they're hearing that, I think that because Riot obviously does actually take a lot of feedback from its community, in that I feel like it's not going to change, because that community, the competitive community, is never going to want to go into closed deck lists. So I don't think it's going to change. I can live in hope, but I don't think that is going to change anytime soon. With that being as it is, but it's one of those things. It just gives that little extra bit of like unexpectedness, and
for sure.
As I said, I already have the very unpopular opinion of really liking RNG. I really like RNG because I think that it's not because like I like the rant, and what I like about it is the moments, especially as a streamer and as somebody who watched the tournaments, like in terms of the Hearthstone tournaments is where I came from watching, and then came over here. The RNG aspect made massive swings that you would not be expecting to happen in a match, and so that's what it makes for moments, like especially when you're streaming esports. It makes for really like moments that people go, oh my god, I can't believe he did like that. I can't believe he got that. I can't believe this happened. And I think that's the thing that I can 100% understand why competitive players don't like it and why they hate it, because they want everything to be, everything is this, and I know straightforward. I don't have to I know it's in the box that I need to worry about, and I don't want that box to be weird. And I can understand that, but as somebody who's just like a player and a lover of card games, I love the RNG part because it does make for so many moments.
That's very well said. I think that's perfectly well said.
Yeah. No, that's literally perfectly well said. Honestly, I can't even add anything on there. That's perfectly well said. I mean, I would have closed, like Gomez said, closed decks would have definitely created some kind of like variance and some kind of like weirdness, like some kind of like somebody could bring like he said, like a Nivea deck that the pro player is looking at it and they're like, oh, this is some Nivea Undying deck, whatever. So they're ready for that, and then you're playing like Miswraiths, or you're playing some kind of aggro deck, and they're like, what?
It makes the viewing a lot different. It's like you're viewing it and it's like, all right, well, what's the best possible decision? He knows every outcome that he could be having, and that's like, as a competitive person, that's great. I want to see that. I want to be like, all right, well, he's doing this. But like, there's part of me that's like, wow, like I can't ever imagine going to a physical card game tournament and being like, I know his entire deck. I know he's not playing Judgment, so I don't have to ever worry about Judgment.
Exactly.
Like if they have Demacia, you should have to worry about Judgment. It's just, it makes for streaming moments. It's weird. Like as a tournament, it's going to be like, oh yes, very calculated, yes. But I want to see that crazy like
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I
he's
mean-
running descend with us, you know.
I mean, like moments like when somebody plays like there was like we're talking. Sorry to keep bringing up Hearthstone, but it's literally the only other comparison that I have. But the year that Pavel won the tournament, because he used a card, there was a 1-cost mana in Mage called Babbling Book, which Babbling Book, when you played it, created a random spell, and so like from your class. And so literally it would play that, and he would just like high roll something crazy off of that. And it's just like that's what helped him get through. And also remembering back in the day when Ragnaros, I don't know if anyone remembers Ragnaros in Witcher Hearthstone, but literally 8 damage randomly. It just makes a great moment. You just don't know.
Pure chaos.
Pure chaos. And so that's what I kind of wish that there was that kind of component within the tournament. But as I said, I know that competitive players are never going to go for it. But it's
I'm somewhere in between. Like, I'm happy we don't have the complete chaos, but I do wish you had to at least respect certain deck building decisions. You know.
Yeah.
But
Like
I mean, Ragnaros is just complete.
Like if they're playing, Shadow Owls. Yeah, like if you're playing Shadow Owls, you should have to respect Runation. If they're playing Targon, you should have to respect like Bastion and Silences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that would have been good.
To mention too.
That is a skill. It's a skill knowing what regions you're up against. And so not knowing what's in that deck, but assuming that's actually still a skill in itself, is knowing what you might have to counter.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than just saying, I've looked at his deck list, he hasn't got one, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think like playing Devil's Advocate to that is like, it adds a weird skill of like, all right, now I can run a deck that maybe I wouldn't run Ruination, but I'll put one in, and now my opponent has like the fear of God that like he does have a Ruination.
Yeah, true.
So he could play it. So just to play Devil's Advocate, there's a little bit of deck building strategy in that way.
True.
But yeah, I'm still. If I was running it, it would have been closed for, Swiss and then open for top 32.
That's exactly hard, right? Like a close for Swiss and open for when you get into the top 30 odd.
Yeah,
but
I think I agree with that.
I think that people throw a lot of like words out without actually thinking about it. So by that I mean I said this in a few different people's streams. I won't mention who they were, but they're like top players who play competitively. And I said, I'd prefer closed deck list because I think that it would be a bit more fun that way. And immediately getting back like no, would you close deck list a toxic in a thing? And I think that toxic is a bit too strong of a word. I think that word gets thrown around a little bit. Closed deck list is the toxic. There's toxicity that you're adding.
That league community is toxic. I don't know about that.
I was trying to fit my corner, but I had a few people shouting at me. Just going, I was like, fuck this shit. I can't do this. But I mean, I think some words get thrown around without actually thinking about the legitimacies of an argument or of a point of view.
For sure.
And tensions are high, man. Everyone's spazzy a little bit right now.
Facts.
Twitter was a hot place on Thursday, dude. Oh man.
Damn.
People are on edge.
Yeah, people are definitely on edge, trying to get their wins.
But honestly, well played to everyone who made it. Said sadly I wasn't one of those people, but as I said, I play more for fun, so I wasn't massively expecting it. Tried to go. Yeah. What I will say that I do respect about the way that Riot ran it is that I like that they had, so there was people from the ladder, but also people in the gauntlet. Now the reason, because that then means that because there are people who don't have the time to put in the amount, because it does take a shit ton of time to climb if you want to climb to Masters and that. So I do actually like that they did actually leave the gauntlet run as a different way of going for people who don't play as much.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And so I full on support to Riot for doing that, because it's definitely
I had two people who I want to shout out real quick for him. I don't know the exact names. I know one was Gabe on Twitter, but he's in gold too. He's like, I didn't have any time to ladder, but I'm in the tournament because he did the gauntlet, and I'm sick. And then another guy started playing 20 days ago. He's in the seasonal tournament.
Wow.
He's like, I barely had 3 decks, but I'm in there. I'm like,
but GG to everybody that's in the tournament for sure. I hope, I want to see somebody I know make it to top 32, bro. I want to see somebody I know make it to top 32. Yo, Twin Sunz, Shane, listen to me here. I have to say both names. Listen to me. Top 32, bro.
Yeah, so my goal originally was like, just make it. I made it. So I changed my goal now to 3 and 2. That's where my goal's at.
I've got a lot of people I'm supporting because obviously I know a lot of people in this community. It's such a lovely community. But as I've said, I know that the man's in chat. Janky, as I've said, I'm putting my flag behind you, sending you my energy.
Oh yeah, Janky too. Janky. You listen to me here. Top 32.
Let's go, Janky.
Top 32, fam. I want to see you. I want to see your name.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Nah, but I'm sure you guys will do well.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm just excited to get in. It was nuts. Like I said, I mean, I was sitting at like 450 on like Wednesday, and we were literally breaking math. We were watching every day the LP drop by 10 points, and we're like, all right, so when do we play another game? So we all decided, like all my friends were right around that same point. We all played one more game. We all won. And we were like, let's go. And then Thursday hits. We were hyped. This chat was crazy. Thursday hits, and we're like, it's like, all right, every hour. We're literally every 30 minutes. I got Real Prism sorted. Shout out to him. Every 30 minutes, he's like, I dropped 4 LP. I dropped 6 LP. And we're like calculating it out. And we're like, all right, we would be, I think the LP cutup's going to be 118. He's like, I'm at 119. I'm going to play again. And I was like, I'm at 125. I'm holding. Like, it was nuts. It was literally like the stock market in this chat.
Damn.
Yeah, but like I said, like, you know, for the East Coast, for us, it closed at 3 a.m. for the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 11 p.m. hit, and I was like, I'll see you guys in 4 hours. I'm just going to bed.
I'm done.
Yeah, I make it.
Oh wait, bro, you on the East Coast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you was on.
Yeah, I'm right outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, I thought you was on West Coast, bro.
Nah, East, dude.
Oh yeah,
I mean, way too early.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I live in what's the name? I live in New York.
No, nice.
Yeah, we gotta. Yo, after all this COVID stuff, yo.
Yeah.
We have to chill sometime, bro.
Yeah, dude, I know Gomez and Janky are close. I know I'm close with Real Prism, close with you now. With the people.
I mean, he's Scotland. It's a big, but I do plan on meeting up with Janky, and it'd be a good time. So I definitely.
Yeah.
He can show me around the Scottish ways, and then he can show me.
You guys gotta go to the pub. You guys gotta go to the pub
for Robbie Burns night.
Yeah, I'll buy myself a kilt and then wear it the traditional Scottish way without no pants, so it's fine, or underwear.
That's it. Yeah.
Pants was in in America. I need to remember that.
What am I listening to?
The Scottish used to go to war in kilts with no underwear because number one,
you gotta be comfortable, man.
Number two, it was easy to go for a piss or whatnot in the middle of war. And also, they used to put up their kilts so that you could see their bollocks and whatnot as an intimidation thing to their opponents. You know?
Is that where looting came
from? You're so busy. You're so busy looking down. You just get shot.
I mean, to be fair, the most craziest war tactic, I can't remember who it was, but there was a war people who used to put their prisoners at the front of the line, and they would cut their heads off like before the leading charge, and it was supposed to be like a really intimidating thing to the opponent because it was like, shit, they're willing to die for this. How crazy they're willing to kill themselves for this shit. Like, you know,
they wilding out.
See you later, guys.
Like, I don't even want to fight. I don't even want to fight this war anymore.
I mean, there was that other. I mean, I don't know why I'm just going into all these battle tech things. This is definitely not what the podcast is about, but apparently it's what it's turned into. History time with Gomez. But there was that captain who, like, he got all of his troops over and then burnt the boats because he was just like, look, there's no way back now, so we have to fight forward.
Oh,
you just imagine there's all those people. You fucking prick! what happens when we win this war? We want to go back to it when everyone build new boats. You prick! What have you done? Why have you done this to us?
You live here now.
Is that where you live?
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now. But yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, I'm guessing that we're coming to a smooth close to this podcast because we've been going for a while.
Yeah. Right. I appreciate you, Shane, coming through. I appreciate you definitely coming through.
Definitely.
I appreciate it. We'll have to get one of you guys on. I know we got, you guys got 3 people, but
yeah,
maybe we'll do like a stream or something with all 5. But we'll have one of you guys on too.
Yeah, because I know that we've had words, but literally just any time, buddy. If you want, just let me know, and I'm all good. Because I know that we've talked, but
yeah. Thank you guys for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It's been a good time.
Yeah, it's been a good time talking to you. I learned some new things.
Twinsunz Podcast. If you haven't already checked it out, check it out.
I learned some new things. I learned some new things about the podcast. I learned about Mikey.
Spilled some beans.
I learned about Mikey, bro. I didn't know who. I know who Mikey is, bro. But
it's good times.
Yeah, for sure. But I appreciate everybody coming through for the chat. If you, I'm gonna leave the Twin Sunz Pod. That was another question I wanted to ask. How come you didn't start the YouTube content?
Dude,
that was another question I wanted. It was on my head.
They have now.
It was on my head. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll say. So we didn't do. Like, literally, I had, we were doing the podcast and we were posting everywhere, and people were like, "You put it on YouTube?" And I had like tried 3 times. I am not tech savvy. Like, I'm a chemist, but like I am not tech savvy. And Josh, I'm just gonna make fun of Josh real hard right now. Dude's an electrical engineer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take care of the YouTube stuff." Never showed up. Man. Shots fired. But Josh,
damn, shots fired.
He went in all Billy Big Bollocks. Yeah. It was like, "No way, boys, I got this one. Stay in the back." And he didn't do anything.
Didn't do nothing. Yeah, electrical engineer, master's degree, did nothing. But yeah, so essentially, he was a busy guy. He bought a house, he moved in, he did stuff.
Okay.
I like 3 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna figure out how to do it. But like, I fell like super in love with making YouTube content. So I've been making like 4 to 5 a week. So it's been a blast.
You've been doing a great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
Definitely. Yeah. Like the
I
channel.
My thumbnails look like they're made by a 2-year-old, but after that, after we got it working,
it gets better. It gets better over time. It gets better over time.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put the links below. I'm put the links to the Twitch, the links to the YouTube. I put everything below.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you guys go check them out. Definitely the best Legends of Runeterra podcast right now.
Thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're excited. We're gonna have the designer of Set 3 come on again in a couple weeks here to talk about the last thing. So if you haven't listened to those are. Yeah, he told us some crazy stuff. Dude, apparently, at one point, Nocturne was literally going to make it so you don't know who's attacking. That's what he mentioned to us. That was one of the design elements.
God,
I was just like,
amazing.
What? Yeah, so hopefully we get some spicy stuff about the next card. So that was crazy. That blew my mind.
Oh my god, so I can even see that.
That would have been amazing.
A missed veil on your
exactly.
You just don't know
so you know what in League of Legends, you know what his ulti does, right?
Yeah,
it makes it
it
makes it so you can't see anything on the map. Nothing. You can't.
That's what they were gonna do.
Yeah,
man.
that would have been amazing.
That's crazy. That blew my mind. I was like, you guys are nuts.
I still like the idea of that guy who literally sends people to the Shadow Realm. I can never remember his name. I think it begins with M.
Oh, yeah, Mordecai.
Yeah, where it's just you in an arena with him and no one else. I like the idea of just his card is literally you drop him and it destroys all of your board. All of your opponent's board, apart from the strongest person on your opponent's side of the board. So it's just literally just those two in combat with each other. Like, that being a card. Like,
1v1 me.
1v1 me, bro.
The epitome of 1v1.
Yeah.
But alright, so we'll catch everybody next week. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bud. It's been like,
it's been a blast.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
But alright. Later, guys.